Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News on Mid-Missouri CW starts now.
One of college basketball's oldest rivalries is back. Good evening, everyone. I'm Natalie Sapila.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, Mizzou Athletics announced the Tigers and the Jayhawks will play for 6 consecutive seasons beginning next year. KOMU 8's Hannah Howard is here in the studio with more on this rivalry renewed.
The first game will be December 12th, 2020 at the Sprint Center in Kansas City. The basketball rivalry dates all the way back to 1907. The Tigers and Jayhawks met for back-to-back games in Lawrence, and the Tigers took both the wins. Since then, the two teams have met a total of 269 times. Kansas has the edge with 174 wins to the Tigers' 95. The last regular season game between the two teams took place in 2012. Before Mizzou joined the SEC. It was an overtime thriller that ended in an 87-86 victory for the Jayhawks. However, a few weeks earlier, the final game played in Columbia was a 74-71 Tiger victory. Missouri and Kansas have played more recently in 2017, but it was an exhibition game to raise money for hurricane relief. I'll tell you when the teams will face off in Columbia coming up in sports. In the studio, Hannah Howard, KOMU 8 News.
Columbia City Council decided tonight school resource officers will have another job, teaching.
Part of the new agreement between the city and the school district includes having officers teach a 9th grade advisory class. KOMU 8's Shoshana Dubno is live with a parent's concern about this change.
Just moments ago, City Council unanimously approved that agreement that will allow school resource officers to teach 9th grade advisory classes. Now, this is something the Columbia School Board approved last week. Those school board members said because school resource officers are already around students, it makes sense for them to be in the classroom. However, I spoke to one parent who disagrees, saying because they don't have the degree, they shouldn't be teaching.
There are some changes to the contract.
The longer he talked, the more angry I became.
And after plenty of talking, Shemen Shwak, a CPS parent, left feeling like her school board wasn't listening.
I was really disappointed that to learn that was the first time that they had read the MOU to families. I believe that they could have very much done a work group with parents. The thing that really upsets me is the fact that they are going to allow police to teach freshman advisory classes.
It's part of a school resource officer agreement the City of Columbia is voting on tonight. The advisory class would cover subjects like substance abuse, gang activity, and school safety.
They are not prepared to teach these subjects. These are trauma-informed subjects, and you need to be trained in trauma-informed teaching.
The school board approved the agreement last week, despite some parents expressing their concerns.
Advisory should be a place where you can ask a question and not feel vilified for that question. I'm not certain if that will be the case if there is a policeman standing in uniform in front of them.
She hopes City Council will discuss what the school board did not.
I mean, teachers are not qualified to be the police. The police are not qualified to teach school.
I reached out to multiple school board members as well as school resource officers themselves. However, I did not hear back. For more information on what that agreement includes, including officer salaries, head to our website at KOMU.com. Live in Columbia, Shoshana Dubno, KOMU 8 News.
Good evening, everybody. Current time is 9:05 p.m. and you can see temperatures right now are currently in the mid-50s. But the big weather story of today has definitely been the strong winds. These are recent wind gusts from the KCOU airport. You can see we had winds of 20, 30, even 40 miles per hour today at 2 p.m. So we had a very, very strong wind, especially out of the west today. Currently, though, those winds have calmed down a little bit. You can see 12-mile-an-hour winds in Columbia right now, 16 up in Kansas City. But tomorrow, though, we are expecting those winds to return. In fact, by tomorrow morning, winds in the 20s. By tomorrow afternoon, increasing into the 30s. And then by tomorrow night, finally calming down. We'll have more on that in just a few minutes, along with your next chance for rain and another warm-up.
Today we learned new information about the shooting death of the 13-year-old over the weekend. Columbia police identified the victim as Dejon Harris of Columbia. Prosecutors also upgraded the charges against 19-year-old Cameron White from involuntary manslaughter to second-degree murder. Prosecutors told KOMU they did this after new information came to light. According to court documents, White said he and Harris were playing guns before the shooting. Court documents say White told police he and the 13-year-old were doing drugs when Harris showed two guns and told White to shoot him. According to the probable cause statement, White said, quote, "And I just did. Like that, and the gun just shot him, and I shot him in the head, and he's dead," end of quote. White is currently in the Boone County Jail.
KOMU 8 News spoke with the 13-year-old's cousins. They told us they would often play basketball together. This most recent shooting has them questioning why this happened in the first place.
Why him? I'd rather him take me than to take him out of everybody else's life.
This is the 11th homicide in Columbia this year. Boone County deputies using a license plate scanner arrested two people this afternoon after learning the truck they were driving was stolen. It happened on Demerit Drive. Deputies searched the truck but didn't say if they found anything. Columbia Police and Highway Patrol troopers joined in the call.
Coming up, why President Trump reversed his decision on where to host the G7.
Plus, a group speaks out about disparities in traffic stops.
And we're also dealing with those strong winds. We dealt with them today. We're going to deal with them again tomorrow. More on that to come in just a few minutes.